Welcome to Brightspace, the new learning management system for Carthage College. This short video is going to show you how to get started, especially if you're a student. So from the Carthage homepage, you're going to go up to Campus Tools and down to One Login. And so if you don't see Brightspace in your Frequents tab right here, make sure you go to Carthage Everything and you'll definitely see it there as well. So go ahead and open up Brightspace. So this is just going to be a quick little tour of what you're going to see in one of your classes and a few changes that you can make. So on the left-hand side, this is where you're going to see like My Courses right here. And so this is all the courses that this particular student, Jennifer Kawakami, is enrolled in. And if I scroll down, here's a course called Student Training Course. One of the things that I can do is these three dots right here. If I click on those three dots and pin that course, I'll have a new area that comes up here called Pinned, and that can be kind of like a most frequent courses area. The other thing that it does is it'll put that course to the very top of what I call the waffle iron right here. And so if you have like multiple courses and things you're trying to keep track of, it's just an extra way, to make sure that you have quick access to those courses. Next to that are message alerts. You can send an email through Brightspace. Just remember that all email is outbound. When you send a message through here, it's going to go to somebody's Carthage email. That's where they're going to receive it. Subscription alerts. This is where you've potentially signed up for, for certain things through Brightspace. And update alerts. These are also notifications that you might get within your account. A couple things on your profile that you might want to think about. When I click on my profile, certainly I would suggest making sure that you have an updated picture of yourself. That's very helpful for your faculty members. The other thing that you can do when you click on your name, when I click on notifications right here, Brightspace has a very good mobile app called the Pulse app. So I would go ahead and get that on your phone right away. And under summary of activities as well, I would have Brightspace email me some specific things. So for example, I'm going to change this from never to probably daily. And, I want to make sure that I get emails in regards to new announcements are good, maybe when assignments are released, things of that, maybe when grades are released. If you want to get an email right away about that, you definitely want to customize your notifications to do that. So I'm going to hit save there. And then sort of the last thing under account settings right here. You can set your specific pronouns if you want to do that. If you have a preferred first name, that actually will be coming over from our student information system. So for example, if her preferred first name was Jen, she would have to set that in Workday, and then it would come over into the system. The other area in here under account settings that you might want to change very quickly is you might want to just put a checkbox in where it says send a copy of each outgoing message to yourself. I would recommend doing that as well. So now I'm going to get into a class and just show you a couple things. So here's a class called Student Training. I see the location and the time of the class up here. And so here's a very specific announcement for that class telling me to do something. As I scroll down this page, I'm going to see here's some office hours for the faculty member. Here are certain things that I have due in this specific class, not across all classes, but this very specific class. Looks like I have a lot of stuff due here. To get to the content of this class where the information is, go ahead and click on content. So if I were to look at week 1 right here are some articles to read. And I can see I've already read these 2 articles here because it says 2 of 2 completed. And I've already done the 3 assignments in here that say 3 of 3 completed. When I get down to week 2, it says 1 of 3 things completed. And so here's a paper that I need to turn in. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click on that assignment. It says not submitted there. And as I scroll down, a couple of different ways I could add that file. So if it's on my computer, I'm probably going to click here or just drop it right in there. It could be a PDF, Microsoft Word document. If it is a Google Drive file, you've been working on it in your Google Drive, I can just click on add a file, go to Google Drive, sign in, choose your account, continue, and I'm going to allow that. And this will give me access to all my files. And so right now I'm going to select the file that I need to submit. I've attached that. And at the very bottom, please make sure you click submit. And it says submitted successfully. So a couple other things at the top. If I want to see the people in my class, I'm going to click on class list right there. And I could email like somebody individually, or I just want to know who are those people in my class. Class progress. This is kind of like an individual, class progress is an individual summary of how you're doing in the class. So, it's going to tell me I've received 5 grades. Here's the content and topics that I've visited. I have 80% completed so far. I could scroll down like through this and see what I've done, or I could also click on something on the left-hand side. And last but not least, we have media library right here. This is kind of like an asset area that if you wanted to upload something to it, you could and share it with another student. I think most people probably use Google Drive for those kinds of options, but you do have the ability to do that in Brightspace as well. So that's a very quick overview about how to use Brightspace as a student here at Carthage. So please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you and have a good day.